Hey guys, this is Nanda. In this video, I am going to show you how to create a virtual machine in VMware Workstation. At the end of this video, you will come to understand how to create a virtual machine and configure the resources of virtual machine such as RAM, CPU and network related stuffs. Also, how to make the connection between virtual and host machine through the virtual network. Links related to these sessions are mentioned in the descriptions. If you like this video, please like and subscribe my channel. And you are watching Mnk Techzone. Before entering to the video, let's revise what are the requirements needed to perform the installation of virtual machine. A desktop with virtualization feature enabled and CPU with more than 1.3 GHz. Make sure it should support virtualization feature. 1 to 2 gigabytes of memory is sufficient as a minimal requirement. For each guest operating system, 1 gigabytes of free space needed in hard drive. You can use any version of Windows or Linux as a host operating system. You can download the VMware Workstation software as a trial version by using the link provided in the description of the video. You can carry the OS installation media as a ISO format. At the time of installation, you need to mount the ISO file in the virtual machine create wizard. This is my lab setup. You can see this is my desktop. In this desktop, I have installed Windows 7 64-bit operating system. After you downloaded the VMware Workstation from the provided link, you can install it on Windows OS. Once you completed the installation, it will act as a Type 2 hypervisor. You can install n number of virtual machines on it. Depends upon your hardware resource capacity. You can install any type of operating system such as Linux, Windows, Ubuntu in VMware Workstation. Only the matter the operating system should compatible with the hardware which you are using as a host machine. Let's open the VMware Workstation software from my host machine. Once opened the application, you will see some menu buttons in home screen. If you want to create a new virtual machine, you need to select this option. And you have already virtual machine in your PC and you want to run it now, then you need to choose this option. And the third option is used to connect a remote virtual machines which they are hosted in some other virtual machine, VMware Workstation or vCenter server or ESXi server. And the final option is used to connect the virtual machine which they are hosted in VMware vCloud. Let's concentrate in the first menu. The actual virtual machine creating process starting from this window. If you select the typical option, it will ask some basic information about the new virtual machine. If you select the custom option, we can configure each and everything of your virtual machine. Let's continue with this custom option. Here you can select the hardware compatibility of a virtual machine. By default, you can select the latest version of VMware Workstation. Depends upon your selection, you can able to see the changes in limitations. Now I am selecting the latest version of the hardware compatibility. In this window, it will ask to mount the ISO images with this virtual machine. Either you can map the physical disk or provide the path of the ISO file. Here I am selecting this option so that I can mount the ISO file after completing the all configurations. Here you need to select the type of operating system. In my case, I am going to install Red Hat 7. So I am selecting the Linux as a guest operating system and the version Red Hat Enterprise Linux 7 64-bit. If you are not sure which operating system version and type need to select, then you can do this thing. First mount the ISO file so that you the option the operating system version by default it will detect it, so that it will not ask that operating system type. It will directly ask the username and password which need to set in the new operating system. So now I am selecting the manual option. Here you can give the virtual machine name, and this is the location where the virtual machine need to save. I have created a virtual machine folder in D directory so that my virtual machine content will be stored in this folder. Here it is asking to give the number of processors need to assign this virtual machine. For this virtual machine I am assigning only one processor, and here we need to provide the virtual memory to our guest operating system. In my case I am going to give 4 GB of virtual memory. These all are the type of network connections available to this virtual machine. If you want to connect a virtual machine into host machine's network, you can select this bridging option. For example, if your machine connected with any switch or Wi-Fi router, your virtual machine also will be connected into the same devices. If you want to separate your network from your host machine network for virtual machine, at the same time we need communication access to our host machine network. Then you can select this NAT option. And the host only network connection is used to create a fully isolated network for our virtual machine. If you select this host only option, your virtual machine and host machine will be not able to communicate through the network machine. Now I am going to select this bridged networking option. Here you can select the disk controller. By default, LSI logic is recommended for this virtual machine, so that I am not making any changes. You can see IDE, SCSI and SATA disks are supported as a virtual disk. Now I am selecting SCSI as per recommendation. Here it asking to create a new virtual disk. If you have already created any virtual disk in your hard disk, then you can use this disk option. Now I am going to create a new virtual disk option. Here you can provide the disk size. I am installing RHCL7, so the minimum recommendation is 20 GB, but I am selecting 25 GB. You can give any size, depends upon your requirement. This option is used to allocating the full disk space now itself. This is used to enabling the performance of virtual machine little better. But for enabling this option, your physical disk should contain this much of free spaces. And here these two options, store virtual disk as a single file and split virtual disk into multiple files. These two options will ensure your virtual disk how should save in your physical disk. In my case I am going to select this store virtual disk as a single file, so that our virtual disk will become see as a single file in .vmdk format. Here it is asking to save the disk file. I am going to save my virtual disk in the folder which I have created in the D drive. Yes, I have selected the location of my disk file. Done. Now the configuration of virtual machine is completed. You can able to review all the settings you have selected. Now we can see the virtual machine created successfully. Once the virtual machine is created, we are ready to install the guest operating system. Now I am going to mount the ISO image of installation media. Done. Let's power on the virtual machine. Press I to start the installation process. Now it asks you to select the languages. Just close this notification. Okay. Date and time. This installation procedure will be differ for each operating system. If you are selecting Windows installation, that will be better to understand. Okay, now the installation started. It's ready to set the root password. I'm forwarding this installation process because it will take some time to complete the installation progress. Okay, now completed the installation process. Let's reboot. Great. Now the operating system successfully installed. Let's try to log in to the server. Yes, logged in successfully. Now let's try to get the access the network. Yes, you can see the IP address of the you can see the IP address of my virtual machine having 192.168.0.107, and also check my host machine's IP address. Yes, 192.168.0.104. Here you will understand my virtual machine and my host machine are in same network. So both are communicatable through each other. So I am trying to ping to my host machine from virtual machine. Great, it's pinging. And also I am going to take a SSH connection from host machine. Once you clicked into once you clicked into the virtual machine, you will not get back your mouse cursor into host machine. So for releasing your cursor, you need to press Ctrl and Alt so that your cursor will be released and your cursor will work in your host machine. This is the SSH tool which I am going to access my virtual machine. Yeah, 192.168.0.107. This is my virtual machine's IP address. Yes, it asking to share the fingerprint. Great, it's accessed. Now I have access to my virtual machine from my host machine because my virtual machine is connected as a bridged connection with my host machine's network adapter. So my virtual machine also have internet connection. We can check it by using pinging to google.com. Yes, it's pinging. This means my virtual machine is connected with internet because of this is connected as a bridged connection. After installing the virtual machine, also we can able to change the settings. You can see the network adapter. We can convert our network connection to another type of application, another type of connection such as net or host only. If you are selecting host only option, it will be a separate network. So now I have selected my virtual machine network as a host only. You can see this is connected as a host only. Now I am restarting my network service. Yes, I need to log in as a root user. Then only I can able to restart my network services. I am running this command as a sudo. Oops. This also not a sudo error list. Okay, let's try to log in to as a root user. Now I have fired the command to restart the network services. Let's wait to complete this command. it's not completing because I have disabled some network adapters from my network connection area. See, the host only connection is disabled. I'm just enabling it and trying to restart the command. Yes, successfully done. Now try to get the IP address. You can see you will not be able to see the any IP address because this is the network. This host only network is totally separated from our physical machine. So we need to assign any manual IP address, or we can enable the DHCP service from our virtual network editor. This is virtual network editor option. Here we can able to control all the network related stuffs. Yeah. Here we can able to see the host only connection, and which is having the subnet address, and by using this option we can able to enable the DHCP service in that network. So I'm enabling the DHCP service. Let's try to restart the service. Yes, completed. Now try to retry the IP address. Yes, got it. This is the IP address which we got from the host control DHCP server. This is the IP address which we got from host only network DHCP service. So from here we can able to this this IP address is assigned to the virtual machine, and it can be able to communicate to this adapter only. So we can from host machine we can able to communicate through this network adapter only. Let's try to ping the virtual machine with uh, let's try to ping the virtual machine using its host only IP address. What is the host only IP? Yes, it's 1.128. It's oops, it's not 0.128, it's 1.128. Yes, it's pinging. This means our host machine connecting our virtual machine through this host only adapter. If you disabling this adapter, let's try to ping again. See, the connection has been ended. This means your virtual machine is totally isolated from our host machine's network. And same like you can install n number of operating system by using this create virtual machine option. Thank you for watching my video, and I will come with some different topic in next video.